Area 52. Hi, Expo here. So in this video, I want to actually talk about what's actually next in fashion. So this correlates to the actual show Next in Fashion. So with Gigi Hadid and one of the guys from Queer Eye. I can't remember his name exactly, but he was also a judge on the show, especially with Gigi Hadid. So my question is for the show is, so the show is called Next in Fashion. And when you think of next in fashion, you're thinking of something that hasn't been seen before. That's actually next. That's actually like different. That's different from what has been created in the first place. So there was 2 seasons. So I watched the first season, but I'm going to talk about the second season because that's the most recent one that I've seen. So my question is for Gigi Hadid. She's a model, but she's judging other designers, just like Heidi Klum with Project Runway. And then you have someone who's from Queer Eye judging designers on their technicalities, their styling, and everything like that. So how are you going to have a show that's next in fashion, talking about what's going to be next in fashion that hasn't been done before? From the designers that I've seen, there's one designer that I saw. He was known for his patchwork designs. Most likely, every single design he had done, even though it's unique to him, it has been done with patchwork. This brings me to the idea with Diane von Furstenberg, with her wrap dress. You can't be known for just doing one thing. You have to be known for doing different things. Just like what Tyra Banks said as a chameleon. You have to literally change what you're doing from project to project to project, but still keeping it authentically you. With the show itself, the designs that I've seen, it's interesting, but it's not next in fashion. It's still like within this current era that we're living in. So if you're gonna have a show that's next in fashion, create projects that the artists and the designers can actually do to elevate and innovate, to push themselves, to create something new that hasn't been done before. Because they even had a challenge of a throwback to, it was the 80s, it was the 70s, the 60s, and so on. How is that next in fashion? That's just repeating something that has been done before, but just in like a different version. What's with these fashion shows just saying next in fashion? One day you're in, the next day you're out. Actually create something that people are going to actually wear that's actually going to be next in fashion. Not just a re-edition of something that has been done in the 80s. Like how many times are we going to recreate something that has been done in the 80s, 70s, 60s? Like it's getting to the point where like I'm questioning Earth fashion in that regard because it's just like, what? This brings me to my next point, especially with how fashion is with men. Because throughout centuries, if women's fashion has changed, how is it that that men's fashion changed? Considering a suit, there's been different variations of a suit, especially with like the tail length of the suit. Maybe the lapel, maybe buttons. What's the definition of next in fashion? If we want to change the world, let's start with fashion and stop repeating stuff that has been done in different generations and eras. That's not next in fashion. That's just repeating something. Especially with like high-end designers. I see potential, but it's still just with the glittering, the glam, the beading work. It's literally to the, like, how can we actually use technology to our capabilities and implementing that into clothing, not in a costume way. Just like I had made a video explaining with fashion that is displayed in futuristic movies. That's next in fashion. Because if you think about going to another planet, how are you going to? My question is, if you think about futuristic movies, those are considered costumes. Why are they considered costumes? Even though it may be in a film, it's still fashion. Think of The Fifth Element, Prometheus, Dune. Dune is on another planet. Prometheus is on another planet, but they're going into another atmosphere. The Fifth Element with Lilu, who was the one who saved the day, even though she had just bandages on herself. That was inspired by Blade Runner. With these movies, if you actually look at the fashion, rather than just looking at how the actors look in the fashion of the clothes in the movies, take into consideration how real that could be. I'm not just watching movies just for the sake of it, of looking at the actors. Like Tom Holland, the Spider-Man. I'm thinking of Tobey Maguire, who was the original Spider-Man, who actually developed abilities with the mutation. Think on how the possibilities of how that could actually be a real thing, not just a fiction, not just a fictional world that people are just recreating and just recreating again and again and again. With movies, I don't understand how there's so many different types of movies that are out there. They always treat it as fiction. And when I go back to Prometheus, there was another mutation in that movie. I'm thinking of life so much differently. Besides fashion, even though I talk about it very often. But if you want to really open your perspective of life in that regard, rather than thinking about movies, fiction, nonfiction, think of how you can actually use that information and apply that to the real world and the IRL. Literally, how I made another video. When I go back to Tom Holland as an example, what makes him so popular? He's just an actor. What's it with these actors that are making them so popular? It's just like with Zendaya. She's literally in every movie, just like with Will Smith, who is in every movie. I don't get that. What makes people popular? What are they contributing? What are they doing? They're just starring in a movie. And the public just literally just flocks to them because like, oh my God, did you... I'm not even gonna just emulate that because that's just disrespectful. If you think about life much differently, rather than just movies, just the actors in movies, What do the people actually, so if there's the actors and they have like the fans, what do the fans think of the actors? What are the fans doing? It's just consuming what the when I go back to Prometheus, I'm thinking of that movie much differently because it talks about the xenomorph and the origins of the engineers. And I'm not talking about it in a conspiracy way. I'm talking about if there's life, if there's life on this planet, distance from the sun to our Earth, we have a neighboring galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy, in our own Milky Way galaxy. What else is in the Milky Way galaxy that could potentially have life if the distance from our Earth to the sun is hospitable for life? What do you think life would be like on another planet? What do you think time would be like? Because if 1 is our unit of measure, 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's all we know. How can we comprehend and even understand what happens on another planet? And I made another video. What's the fascination with Mars? You're sending so much equipment to Mars. Why Mars? Axwell out.